Good morning, everyone, and thank you for coming here today. This is an exciting time for us. We're starting a new project, and it is school bus stop arm cameras. It's also, we're going to be calling it our Safe Cross program. I'm Major Robert Liberati of the Prince George's County Police Department. Today, I will be explaining the reasons for this program and how we will administer it. Afterwards, we'll have a bit of a show and tell. We'll go down on the street where we have another school bus set up, and there we have a table with some monitors, and we'll be able to show you what the violations look like as they occur. Now, these aren't the finished violations. The finished violations normally go through a process where they're put into an actual violation notice, and then they're approved by the police department. But this, for the live demonstration, this is about as close as we're going to get. I'd like to start off by bringing up Mr. Rex Barrett, Director of Security, to talk a little bit about the school's roles in this project.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Major Liberati. On the school side of things, obviously, we're very excited about this program. This allows us the opportunity to safeguard our students who traverse on and off of buses on a daily basis. In addition, it allows us, with this public information that's going out right now, to let people know that we're taking this very seriously and that the violation notices will be issued. I was talking to Major Liberati earlier about our bus drivers in general. We had a in-service training for them last week. We described to them this program, and we got nothing but cheers and applause. They were very excited about this program because they obviously care very deeply for our students, and they don't want them to be in harm's way. Major Liberati highlighted a lot of names here today as far as who made this possible, and what we would like to highlight and show our appreciation for the collaborative efforts for everyone in the school system side of things and on the police department side. With that, obviously, I'll be available for questions afterward if anyone has any. And thank you very much, Major Liberati.
Okay. I wanted to talk a little bit about why school bus cameras. Each of the last 4 years, Prince George's County has participated in a national count, a one-day count of stop arm camera violations. These are violations that occur when a school bus is stopped with the flashing lights on in the front and the rear, the red lights, and the stop arm extended. In just this one day, April 24th of 2014, our school bus drivers reported 669 violations in a single day. In addition, our police officers issued 180 traffic tickets for passing a stopped school bus during 2013, and so far this year, we've issued 94 violations. These are tickets which carry a $570 fine and 3 points for passing a school bus. Each school year, we dedicate police patrol resources to school bus pedestrian safety. But we cannot have a police officer at every school bus stop. Therefore, we decided to use the latest technology as a force multiplier. As we said, this is a new program for us. These cameras will be the first traffic cameras installed on our school buses. Our goal is the safety for our children, preventing accidents regarding children boarding and leaving school buses, and using the automated school enforcement cameras to highlight this program and capture violations. This pilot deployment consists of 20 cameras. They're all installed on 20 new school buses. As you can see, if you all can move back, they're on the outside of the school bus on the driver's side. They contain each camera actually contains 4 separate cameras and a wireless download. That's how the violations will be transmitted. The cameras will only be activated when the lights the flashing red lights on the bus are lit, and the stop arm is extended. The camera captures violations from both the front and the rear of the bus. So if you have a violator that comes from the rear, it will capture the violation, and if it comes from the front, it'll capture the violation. Each violation will then be wirelessly sent through our vendor for verification, and then will come to the police department, where a police officer will determine if the violation is valid. The police officer will also look at the registration of the vehicle to make sure it matches the tag, type, model, etc. If the officer approves the violation, then it will be mailed to the owner of the vehicle. These violations and our ability to use school bus cameras is based on 3 laws. The first one is the Maryland Transportation Code 21-706, which requires a motorist to stop 20 feet either from the rear or approaching a school bus when the lights are lit and the stop arm is out. Article 706.1 of the Maryland Transportation Code allows the police department to cite violators with a photo enforced ticket sent to the owner. And then finally, County Code CB 13-2013, which allows the police department to issue the violations. The court designated fine is $125. That is a civil fine. There are no points with this fine. There is no insurance implications. And this, again, is opposed to a ticket that, if it was issued by a police officer, would be $570 and 3 points. Now, I'm going to conclude, but we're going to follow Captain Dan Sheffield behind me down to the other location where we'll do the demonstration. And we'll also be available for questions. But before we do that, does anybody have any questions for me?
How much does one of these units cost?
That's a good question, and I'm going to defer that to Xerox. The county is not paying a penny for these cameras. As you can see, it's a rather sophisticated camera. There's a lot of not only upfront equipment costs, but maintenance and the wireless costs. We have an arrangement with Xerox where we split any revenue that we would get with the cameras. There are not really as many violations as, say, a red light or a speed camera program, so you're not going to see the volume with this. Xerox is providing these cameras as part of a bigger contract that they have to provide our red light cameras.
The revenue generated from the fines that are issued?
Correct.
Obviously, these buses go on a lot of different roads, and say somebody's passing a bus on a multi-lane, numbered highway, for instance. If they stop within that zone, or do they have to worry about getting cited, even if they're closer within like the 20 feet buffer?
What we're talking about is violations that occur on a section of roadway that is either undivided, or if it's divided, on the side of the road that the school bus is on. The cameras can go out, I believe, up to 3 lanes and capture those violations. We'll be looking at each one personally. Our officers will be looking at it to make sure that it's a vehicle passing a school bus with the stop arm extended and the lights on.
So they've got to travel all the way past it. If they make
Correct.
a good faith effort to stop but are a little bit close.
Exactly. We're not going to be out there with a tape measure, obviously, looking for 20 feet. But if they pass the school bus or get close enough that it causes a hazard, we're going to recognize that violation.
Are these being used anywhere else in the country?
Montgomery County has them, and I think Charles County also.
How long is a pilot program, and when can we be seeing this on all the buses?
Well, we'll have to see how it goes. The contract calls for 20. There has been some discussions about adding some more, but we'll see what the results are. The way we're deploying these cameras, though, there's going to be they're going to be spread out throughout the county. Every school bus lot is going to have at least one, so they'll be moved around to different locations based on the recommendations of the school bus drivers and our officers who are out there witnessing violations.
What is the revenue split?
It's 70-30. 70% goes to Xerox and 30% goes to the county.
In Montgomery, what they did is they had a certain number of cameras on the buses, but then other buses had a box without the camera. It kind of was a decoy, I guess. Are you guys going to have the same kind of thing?
We don't have any immediate plans for that, but we've met with Captain Didone in Montgomery County a number of times, and we've modeled some of this after their program. But that's certainly an option for us.
How many kids ride county buses?
I'll defer that to the schools.
Excess of 80,000.
Have you had any terrible accidents involving children and motorists that passed a school bus in Fergus County?
Not in recent memory, although there have been about 10 accidents in the state in the last year involving motorists that pass a stopped school bus. That's statewide, but here in the county, I can't say in recent memory there's been any.
You may already have addressed this. I'm sorry, Kate Ryan with WTOP. Montgomery County says, despite the fact that they have these cameras, they continue to see people violate this law. In your eyes or in your experience, is it that people don't know that what the law is, or that they simply think, hey, I'm in a hurry, I gotta go?
Well, it's interesting you brought that up. Montgomery County also has their work has also showed that an average, people are only passing them one time. So they're not getting multiple tickets. So I think for those people that are passing school buses, they aren't paying attention, or for whatever reason they're doing it, when they get zapped with a fine, that will certainly get their attention. But I think for the most part, I think it's inattention. I think part of our message here today is to look for the buses. School is starting, look for the buses.
When did you say these are going to be deployed?
It will start with the school year next week. We have a transition day on Monday and then a regular school day on Tuesday.
Do you plan on backing down some of the officers who are out on routine patrols watching people go by school buses, or will that continue in the same amount as it has in the past?
It will continue.
The same amount of officers?
Yes.
Is there any place in particular that has a higher volume of people passing school buses, motorists passing school buses?
I'll leave that to the schools to answer, but because of the way we're going to deploy these buses, we're really giving them the option to move them around as they see fit. I can't say, and I don't know if you all can. Is there any one area that's busier than another, other than higher traffic areas?
Higher traffic areas certainly would be, one area, but we're distributing these buses throughout the county from north to south, east to west.
And if I can follow up on what you said earlier about inattention, I think a lot of people might say, giant orange bus, flashing lights, how can you not see that? Is this the problem?
It could be. People in a hurry. There's lots of things going on in people's vehicles. But again, this is just one part of our safety program. It's about speed. It's about attention to what you're doing. Focus on your driving. This is just one part of it. But this is very important. An accident involving a child is certainly tragic. Not only for the child and his family, which is unspeakable, but also for the driver that's involved too. I mean, that's something they would have to carry for the rest of their life. And that's only the emotional part. Then you have the financial part that's involved too.
You said the tickets are issued to the owner of the vehicle?
Correct.
What happens if the owner is not the driver?
There's, just like with speed and red light, there's a transfer of liability. If the person receiving the violation, the owner, provides evidence to the court's satisfaction that someone else is driving the vehicle, we will reissue the violation to that person. But ultimately, it falls on the owner of the vehicle to pay that violation. If the violation isn't paid and the vehicle is registered in Maryland, we will suspend the registration eventually.